Waz Players present Showcasing the Stars, featuring the cast, crew, and pit of the 2020 production, Phantom of the Opera.
Good evening, and welcome to Showcasing the Stars, Dance and the Stage. I am your host, Allison Hoffman. Please stay tuned to meet our guests for this week.
Hello, my name is Jenna Prestianni. I played a ballet dancer in the Phantom of the Opera. This is my first year in the Waz Players.
Hello, my name is Lauren Brand, and I play Christine Daae in the Phantom of the Opera. I have been a Waz player for the past 3 years of high school. I started my freshman year, and I was a member of the Waz Junior Players when I was in middle school. I would say that some of my favorite productions that I've been a part of would be Footloose, which was our spring musical last year, and Peter and the Starcatcher, which was our black box show this past fall.
Hi, my name is Gabby Troch. I played Madame Andre as well as a ballet dancer in the Phantom of the Opera. I have been a part of the Waz Players for all 4 years of high school. I've been a part of 7 shows, and my favorite role that I've ever played would be Teacher in Peter and the Starcatcher. Teacher was a mermaid who was the first person to call Peter Pan. She was just a really fun and imaginative character that I got to make my own, and it was just a lot of fun.
Hi, my name is Kyli Bergensten, and I am a ballet dancer in Phantom of the Opera. I first joined the Waz Players in my freshman year with the show Oliver, and I'm a junior now, so I've been doing it for 3 years. And my favorite show that I've ever been in was Footloose the Musical because it had a lot of dancing and it was just really, really fun to be in.
Hi, my name is Paige Casey, and I played a ballet dancer in Phantom of the Opera. I have been a part of the Waz Players since middle school and my freshman year. I was in Elf Junior in 6th grade, I was a Fagans Boy in Oliver in 7th grade, and I was in Honk Junior in 8th grade, and I was recently in Frozen as well as Phantom of the Opera.
Hi, my name is Polina Pastushenko. I played Madame Jury in Phantom of the Opera. I've been a Waz player for the past 4 years now, and no matter how short this production was, my favorite show is definitely Phantom of the Opera.
My name is Forte, and I play a ballet dancer in the Phantom of the Opera. I first joined the Waz Players when I was in 8th grade, and the middle school and high school did a combined production of Oliver.
Hi everyone, my name is Lydia Freethy, and I played Meg Jury in this year's production of Phantom of the Opera. So I first started doing shows when I was a little kid down at the Ritz, and then I started doing them in the middle school with Miss Sutton. I started my career with the Waz Players though my freshman year when I played Emerald Barrett in Mystery at the Watering Can, the Rose Cellar in Oliver. Then my sophomore year I played Erlene in Footloose, and this past year I played Prentice in Peter and the Starcatcher.
Now our guests would like to answer some questions about how important dance is to musicals and some of their favorite memories involving dance productions in musicals.
I think that dance is important to a musical production because it sets the tone for the production. It also draws in the viewer.
I would say that dance is very important to a musical production because oftentimes it can be just as expressive as singing or speaking, if not even more expressive. I think it can help drive the story along and convey emotion, and it also can add movement and energy and life to the stage when otherwise it might be a little boring.
Dance is very important in a musical production. Without dance, the audience would just be sitting there watching the actors on stage acting and singing. But dance is what brings movement to the music. It's what gives the music life. It's something you can actually see happen. And it's something that is truly beautiful.
I think dance is important to a musical production because it can make a show a lot more entertaining. For example, if during a musical number people are just standing there singing, it can get a little bit boring sometimes. So if you add dance to it, it can add an extra element to make the numbers stand out more. Dance can also help tell the story of the musical. For example, last year we did Footloose the Musical, which was about people who live in a town where they're not allowed to dance. And the dancing in that show really helped tell the story, and it wouldn't have made much sense without it.
I believe dance is important to a musical production because it can add a lot of visual effects and it can make a show more exciting. For example, if you're doing a upbeat song, adding a fun dance to that can really make it more entertaining for the audience and more fun for the cast as well.
I think the answer is really simple. Dance brings life to a show. It is really that last connecting piece that every production needs that makes a show something great and full, because without dance, it would just be words thrown around the stage. But the movement and the dance moves, it just brings it all together and makes the show that much more spectacular.
So I think dancing is an important part of a musical production because it's just another visual element to invoke feelings and see the mood and I guess the vibe of that part of the show. So like if there's a dance number, a musical number of someone getting their dream job, everyone's going to be jumping around, they're going to be having fun. You can see that's a happy part of the show. But if it's like a creepy, eerie song or number, then you can kind of see within, I guess, the actors' faces, their tone in their singing, or just the lyrics that they're singing, the music, and the dance. Like you could see the movement of the dance is kind of like invoking the feeling of eeriness and creepiness.
So dance is important to a show for many different reasons. One of the biggest reasons being it's a very entertaining thing to watch for the audience. It can be very wowing and very skillful depending on what you're watching, from ballet to something like Footloose or anything in between. It's also very important because it is a way to be expressive, and it can also move the story along either through the movement or in the songs as well.
My favorite musical theater performance was when I was in the Junior WAS Players and I was in the performance of The Lion King. I loved getting to dance all of the different parts of nature, like the stars and the grass and all of the different animals. I also loved being able to dance in the aisle and involve all of the audience members.
If I had to choose a favorite dance number that I was a part of, I think I would have to choose the Act 2 opener of Footloose last year, which was Let's Hear It for the Boy. It was set in this kind of Western cowboy style barbecue, and everybody was wearing cowboy boots and cowboy hats, and the dance was just so much fun, and the music was so upbeat and just fun to dance to, and it was so involved and crazy hard to learn. I had to practice it so much. We were doing hitch kicks and jazz splits, and it was just so much fun to be a part of.
My favorite musical theater dance would have to be Let's Hear It for the Boy from last year's show Footloose. It was a fun, upbeat, kind of country dance. I got to wear one of my favorite costumes that I think I've ever had. And the dance was definitely on the more challenging side. But once we got it all together and we got it down, it was so much fun, and I wish I could do it again.
My favorite musical theater dance ever was Let's Hear It for the Boy from Footloose the Musical. In that number, we were all dressed as cowboys and cowgirls, and it was really fast-paced, high energy. It was really fun and upbeat. And in my experience, I think it was probably the hardest one in the show, at least for me, but I still loved it. And probably part of the reason why I loved it was because I really liked the song, and I just really loved the energy of that whole number.
My favorite was Consider Yourself when I was in Oliver in 7th grade. I thought it was really fun. It included almost everyone from the cast, and it was just a really fun, upbeat song that was really entertaining for the audience, and it was really fun to perform on stage.
I'd have to say that would be Masquerade from Phantom of the Opera. That dance is just so enthralling to do and to watch, because it incorporates both ballet and just musical theater dance moves. It's so festive, and it brings such an exciting mood to the whole entire show. And I think also the placement of the dance is super important, and the fact that it's the opening of Act 2, it's just like a new life, and every character is involved, and it's so beautiful and mesmerizing. I think that would have to be my favorite.
So I think my favorite musical theater dance was Papa from Oliver. So it was kind of a musical number made for the females of the show. So we had 3 groups of the females. It was the pros, the waitresses, and the country bumpkins, and that's what I was. So the country bumpkins would come into this bar with, I guess, their husband or their boyfriend, and they would come in and the pros would steal them and start dancing with them. And it was really kind of an interesting number, song, I guess you can call it. It was very upbeat, it was really fun. We would stand on top of things, start dancing. It was just really fun. I think it was my favorite part of the entire show.
One of the most memorable moments from a dance in a show for me would probably have to be from Anything Goes that we did 2 years ago down at the Ritz. Now, this is one of my favorite shows that I've ever done because in the song Anything Goes, there's a huge tap dancing number in the middle of it, and this was such a blast to learn and perform. We learned so many new tap dancing techniques and terminology, and it was just such a blast to do. I still remember the entire routine, and I'll never forget how to do a time step, and it's definitely one of my most favorite shows.
The funniest moments for me were when we were just learning the steps for a new dance. It always makes me laugh when we were all making silly mistakes.
There have been a lot of very memorable and funny moments that have happened during dance numbers, both during performances and rehearsal. But if I had to think of one in particular that was just really, really funny, I think my mind would go back to the rehearsal process of Phantom. In the number Masquerade, there was this dance break in the middle, and during that dance break, the ballet chorus, we all got in a line, and we would have to alternate between a group of boys and do a combination of lifts and spins, and one of the boys in that group was my good friend Nolan, and every single time I would get to Nolan, he would have to lift me up, and the lift happened fine, but it was getting out of the lift that was always a little rocky. He would lift me up and then just throw me back onto the ground. And I was fine, it didn't hurt at all, and it was really funny. We both thought it was funny, but every single time we tried to do that lift, the ending was just very, very messy.
A funny moment during a dance from a show or rehearsal would have to again be from Footloose last year during Heaven Helps the Man. The dancers were given jump ropes, which are not the most cooperative prop. We had almost everyone on stage, and here we got 8 dancers with jump ropes, and the jump ropes just kept whacking everyone. They kept getting wrapped around other people. They just were quite difficult to get used to. But the most frustrating thing for me was the fact that I had almost no mistakes during any of our rehearsals while using the jump ropes, but then it came to our show nights, and almost every night I messed up in some way, shape, or form, and it was so aggravating.
So my memorable moment was in the song Papa in the show Oliver, which was in my freshman year. And in that song, I had to dance with a partner, and a few times he would have to lift me from my waist like that. And when he did it during rehearsals, sometimes his thumb would poke into my ribs a little bit, and it would be a little bruised, but nothing horrible. And then on the Saturday performance, we did it, and I felt this crack in my ribs, and it kind of hurt to breathe, and it turned out he actually ended up cracking my rib. And during that dance, we still had to do that a few more times, and then I had to do it again the next night too. But it ended up being okay. He apologized, and I'm fine now.
So when I was in 7th grade, I was in Oliver, and we did a song called Consider Yourself. It was a really fun song, but there was this one move where you had to jump and switch your feet at the same time while moving across the stage, and I struggled with it a lot. So there were definitely a few times where I almost fell off the stage or fell on my face on stage, and it was pretty laughable.
I think the most recent one that just pops up into my head is when we'd be learning the choreography for Masquerade. I would do the guys part, and every time Mrs. Hoffman or Mrs. Sutton would be teaching the guys, they'd say, "All right, gentlemen," and then there would be a pause, and everybody would just look at me, and so would they, and then they would say, "And of course, Polina." And I just think that was such a funny thing, and it came up every time we did something with Masquerade, and by that point, I was just known as part of the gentlemen, and it was great.
So a funny memory I had that was part of the dance was again during Oliver. So it was the second part of Who Will Buy. So in the middle of the dance, some of the ensemble members would run out into the hallway and run to the back of the auditorium so they could almost immediately come in and do a dance in the audience. So we're all wearing 2-3-inch heels on our character shoes, and we had to book it to the door of the auditorium, and I fell pretty much every time. I would face plant, and it was really funny. Everyone would start laughing, but we couldn't laugh because we were backstage and we had to be quiet. So it was just a good time, a good laugh, a fun memory, so yeah.
So some of my favorite dance numbers from a show would probably have to be Footloose, Holding Out for Your Hero, and I'm Free from Footloose. I love these songs specifically for many different reasons. They're some of my favorite songs, and I really liked Footloose because it was such an energizing number, and it was really fun to end the show with. We had the coolest costumes, and same with Holding Out for a Hero. We had some of the coolest costumes. I was dancing with my friends, and it was just a really cool dance routine overall. And I really liked I'm Free because it was such an adrenaline rush, and it was a really energizing number, a really good workout too. It was just a blast to do.
The dancers from Phantom of the Opera were fortunate enough to get together for a Zoom meeting this week. Please enjoy the fun dance game we came up with.
Okay, welcome everybody to our episode of Dance and the Stage. I have created a fun Zoom dance game that I think everyone will enjoy. And I hope that everybody just kind of has a good time and don't take it too seriously. So to start, I want to talk specifically about a famous dancer that I know and love who has inspired me to create this activity, and it actually comes from a game that my family owns. I don't know, but maybe you've heard of the famous dancer Angelina Ballerina. Anybody? Okay. So Angelina Ballerina has created a game. It's called, wait, hang on a second, I'll get the box. It's called Dance With Me. So we're going to be taking the cards from this game, plus I've added a few wild cards of my own. And I'm going to challenge you. So you'll each get a turn, and you can pick number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I've got different stacks in each of those categories. And once you pick a number, I will give you the name of a dance move, and you need to do that dance move. If you don't know the dance, you can pass it without, there will be no penalty. You'll only get points if you get the dance move correct. If you know the dance move, do the dance move and you'll get points for it. If you don't know the dance move and you pass it, it'll go on to the next person to get the opportunity to get that point. The person with, I think the person to reach, I guess we'll see how long this actually takes, but I was thinking the person to reach 3 points first would be our winner. There is one more very important part to this game, and that is Angelina Ballerina not only is a mouse, but she's also British. So from here on in, we all have to speak with British accents. Okay, and we are going to begin. Do I have a volunteer who would like to go first? Or should I just call you out?
Just call us out.
All right. I'm going to start with the person to my left because it's going to be different for all of you. But Paige, you're first in the square here. So Paige, you get to go first. You're going to pick a number from 1 to 5.
3.
3. Oh, you are lucky. You got a wild card first. All right. The first dance move is the Grapevine. Please perform the Grapevine. If you do not know the Grapevine, you can say pass and it will go to the next player.
I don't think we can see it from here.
We can see. I believe that Paige has done the Grapevine correctly, so that is 1 point for Paige. Very nice. Moving on to Jenna. Jenna, number from 1 to 5, please. Say it again. 4. All right, Jenna has chosen 1, 2, 3, 4. And, oh, here she is. This is Angelina in her finest. We have first position releve. We cannot see your feet, but I can tell that you are not in correct first position. So I am going to not give you that point. All right, this moves on to Lauren. Lauren, you get to choose the next number 1 through 5.
Alright, I think I will go with number 2. That sounds pretty nice to me.
Number 2 is another. Oh, this one is very hard. I'm so sorry. This is Saute. It is a ballet term.
I do not know what that is.
You're not sure what that is? Okay, so that's.
I have no idea.
Are you going to pass then?
I think I will pass that one.
Right, that's going to go on to Nina. Nina, if you know how to perform Saute, you can show us now. All right. Saute is a jump off the floor. Sometimes you switch your feet. So, Nina, I will give you that point. All right. Now we're going to move on to Lydia. Lydia, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
I think I'll choose 4.
Number 4. Okay. Lydia, you also have a ballet term here. This is tendu back. Tendu back.
I'm not sure what that is. I probably should have put my ballet shoes on. I have them here. I'll change them in a second. I'm going to pass on that one, I think.
All right, that's going to Polina. Polina, can you show us tendu back?
I'm afraid to mess it up, so I believe I will just pass it on.
All right, moving on to Gabby. All right, so and she's continuing to tendu. Okay, yeah. So the tendu is a point, and back is point when you point and drag back. So Gabby will get that point, and we move on to Kyli. Kyli, number 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5.
I'm going to choose 2.
Number 2, Kyli. You need to show. Oh, of course. You need to show us an arabesque. Woo! That is an arabesque. Okay. And we are back up to Paige. Paige, pick a number.
4.
You are a lucky duck today. You get the heel click. Whoa! That was a good one. All right. Good job. Jenna, number 3. Oh, this is a true test. So this is first position. There it is. That's it. Yes, Jenna. Okay, Jenna gets a point for that one. All right, Lauren.
I think I will go with number 1.
Number 1. Oh, you keep getting the hardest ones. I'm so sorry. Let's see. It's passé relevé.
Oh my goodness. I do not know what that means.
We're having the hardest time at this. So are you going to pass again?
Yes, I'm afraid I'm going to have to pass again.
All right, so it moves on to Nina. That is passé relevé. Look, I'm going to curl back down a bit. Moving on to Lydia.
I think I'll go with number 5.
All right, Lydia. You got a lucky one. The cabbage patch. Do you know the cabbage patch?
I've heard of it before. It's probably one of those dances that I don't know though.
This has been made famous at nightclubs and middle school dances extraordinaire. No, you're not sure?
I don't think so. I'm gonna have to pass on this one.
All right, this is going to Polina. No.
No, I do not know what that is either.
Oh no! All right, well, it's moving on then to Gabby. That's it. She's got it. It goes around and then it goes back again. Yep, there it is. All right, nice job. Okay, we move back to Kyli. Kyli, pick a number. Kyli, you need to show us 5th position in ballet. And that is correct. 5th position, correct. All right, moving back to Paige.
2.
Number 2. Okay, Paige, this is going back in time. The Charleston.
I'm afraid I don't know that one.
Okay, so that will move to Jenna. Jenna, do you know the Charleston? Okay, great, good. You can do the Charleston several different ways, but what Jenna just did there is a version of the Charleston, so good job, Jenna. And we move to Lauren. Lauren, lucky number, come on, get a good one this time.
All right, I hope so.
Okay, this one has been made popular by the famous video game Fortnite, so hopefully she can do this one. The Orange Justice.
What? I feel like if I saw it, I would know exactly what you were talking about.
Probably.
But the name does not ring a bell at all, I'm afraid.
It's okay. I'm sorry, Lauren. It's just not working out for you today.
It's alright. Hopefully I'll be able to dance for all of you at some point.
I hope so too. All right, Nina, this could be for the win. Do you know the Orange Justice? This is it. That's it. Do you know it? All right. Well, Nina has just won 3 points, everyone. So congratulations. Nina is our winner. I'm just going to jump down. Let's see. Kyli, you had 2 points, so I'm just going to, for second place, technically, if you get this correct, you would have second place. So would you like to pick a number?
I'm going to choose 4.
Okay, you need to show us a grand jeté. And that is correct. So, Kyli would have second place. Congratulations, Kyli and Nina, for winning our game. If you guys want to unmute real quick, and then maybe everyone can take a big curtsy, since this is at the end of a ballet performance or a dance performance, we normally curtsy, right? So all together, 1, 2, 3, and curtsy. There it is. All right.
Next, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Jessica Sutton. She's our assistant director and our co-choreographer. She has graciously submitted a written response for this week's episode. I'd like to introduce Kyli with a beautiful dance performance, a special feature she would have had in our production of Phantom of the Opera. Well, this concludes our episode, Dance and the Stage. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Make sure that you comment below for the WAS players, and tune in next week for Putting It All Together. Bye-bye.